Hi, I'm Ed Cohen of Weathering the Weather with Ed. I'm actually a meteorologist. I have a BS degree in meteorology from the City College of New York, CCNY for short, and a master's degree from the University of Wisconsin. So that makes me a beaver and a badger. I'm a beaver because the University of Wisconsin, actually CCNY is the beavers and Wisconsin are the badgers, so that's how I got there. Now, CCNY, for those of you who don't know, is actually in New York City. That's how we get the NY. I hope you understand that. Now, this show will be doing the various weather topics. First one will be late winter and early spring weather. And my sidekick here, Lou.
Lou? Who's Lou?
Oh, Mark, right?
Mark, yeah. Are you seeing another sidekick on the side?
Yes, I'm unfair. I'm neutral. No, I'm not.
I'm Mark.
You're Mark. Say hello, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Thank you. Mark will be asking me questions about the weather, and what would be different is I would be using humor, as you might have figured out already, so that you don't get bored. And if you want to watch this show over and over again, you can go to Westford Cat, how about WESTFORDCAT.org. That's cat, not dog, but with an org after it. And you can go to, what is it now, play videos? Is it?
Watch videos online.
Thank you for not telling me. Watch videos online, and then put search, in the search button, put Weathering the Weather with Ed.
Or just weather.
But if you do just weather, you'll get the other stuff. That had nothing to do with the weather as far as I can see, because it just said, now that the winter is here, there's weather. Thank you. Do what I say, not him.
Fine.
All right. And Mark will be coming up, right, Mark, with the email site where you can send in questions that I will answer. Thank you for shaking your head, Mark. Yes.
I will.
Thank you.
If you have questions, if you are interested in the weather, or just maybe you don't understand something that these meteorologists talk about all the time.
I beg your pardon?
Your pardon.
Thank you.
Just send us an email at weathered@westfordcat.org. That's weathered@westfordcat.org.
You better give me that so I can send in questions.
I just did.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
Write it down for me.
All right.
Remember.
So today's topic is early spring, late winter.
Yes.
Okay. Now, as we're filming this, there happens to be a snowstorm outside.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. It's snowing.
It's a weather event.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. So what does it need to be in order to be a snowstorm?
That's a strange question.
Give me a strange
Why? It
answer.
would have to be snowing heavier and actually accumulating.
Oh, so it's not accumulating yet.
It's not accumulating because the sun's too high in the sky. And
No,
even just brightness. So the diffuse radiation, that's diffuse.
Diffuse.
That's today's word. It actually melts it when it hits the ground. Now, when the sun gets lower in the sky, it can start sticking, and at night it sticks.
Now, is that something that you see more often in this time of the year?
Yes.
So earlier.
Early in the winter, it wouldn't be. Early in the winter, it wouldn't be a problem. Even through January, it wouldn't be a problem.
But it's only a problem in March.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit towards the end of February also.
Okay.
The sun angle now in early March, it's about the same as it is in, let's see, basically early October, which seems low because you're coming out of summer, but now it seems high because you're coming out of winter.
So that's why you occasionally get in the occasional snowstorm in, say, November? Remember 2 years ago we had that October 31st storm?
Yeah, that was strange.
That was very strange.
I've never seen anything like that before, and I was with Attila the Hun, as you well know.
And yeah, you've been around for quite a while.
I certainly have. I was with Moses, but that's another story.
All right, we'll talk about that in another episode.
Yeah.
All right, so I have a list of questions. Some of these questions we've generated ourselves, okay? We admit that. And some of these questions I've come up with on my own.
Yeah.
The first question to launch this episode is, what is the difference between meteorology?
Yeah, it's easy for
I'm
you
going to have
say.
a really hard time saying meteorological.
How about, I'll say it, meteorological
seasons and astrological seasons. What is the difference?
Okay. Astrological is related to where the sun appears to be. It's true, don't laugh. Because when we're having winter, the sun appears to be directly overhead. This is the globe of the world, if you can remember it.
That's what that is. I thought I recognized it.
It's a tennis ball. 23.5 south, the sun, if I can hear, well, it's here somewhere. The sun appears to be directly overhead at that point. It's because of the tilt of the Earth.
Okay.
So that would be our winter solstice. Then
so the Earth is actually tilted?
Yeah, it drinks a lot.
I just thought the globe was broken.
You're a sick person. I'll have a drink. And so, can I continue?
Please do.
Thank you. Miserable. All right, so when the equinoxes, don't look, the equinoxes, in the vernal equinox, a fancy name for spring, and then the
Yes.
autumnal is a fancy name for fall. Sun appears to be directly overhead. These are at solar noon. So if you're on daylight time, that would be 1 p.m.
Okay.
because we moved the clock up. And then it appears to be directly overhead. When we're at the summer solstice up here, over here, it's all because of the tilt. Easy for you to say, right? So that's how you get the seasons, astronomically.
Okay.
But meteorologically, it's the month that contains an equinox or a solstice is the first month of the new season. I'll give you a quiz. December, what do you think of? What season?
I
You
think
better
of
get
winter.
this right. Thank you. What about March? What season do you think of?
I'm thinking beginning of spring.
Thank you. Well, you read the script. Now, what about the first June? What do you think of?
I'm thinking summertime.
You're going to sing. What about September?
I'm thinking fall.
Very good. I'll
I
pick you up
had
if you do.
very few choices left over.
Well, no, but that's meteorological. So actually, spring started March 1st
Doesn't feel like it
because it's transitional time.
because it's
Get it?
snowing.
That doesn't matter. We've had snow in May, which is very hard. May I have a drink of this or whatever it is?
You may, and I'll fill the time while you're drinking. See how I did that?
Go ahead. What do you got?
Expert. Okay.
That was a kick save. What else do you got?
All right. So, I'm sorry, I have to recap here. I'm
have
a
to
little
recap?
confused.
Have another one.
I have a nightcap here.
Yeah, I got a nightcap.
No.
What's in there?
So March
Chivas Regal?
is the astronomical season for spring,
Around March 21st, astronomical spring starts.
but
It
meteorologically
starts March 1st.
March 1st.
It's the first day of the month that has an equinox or a solstice.
So there's really not a whole lot of difference.
For you, maybe. For me, that's 21 days, basically.
All right. So what causes the seasons?
I'm going to hit you with this.
It's your questions.
Oh, don't worry about it. The Earth is tilted 23.5 degrees out of the vertical. Everybody see that? Because I don't. Don't touch my clothes. 23 degrees out of the vertical. That's why we have the seasons. And they're opposite. If we're having winter up here, they're having summer in the southern hemisphere. And as Bugs Bunny would say, vice versa. All right?
Okay.
Okay.
That's why when I watch tennis, it's really hot down there.
Well, it depends who's on the screen, actually. But yes, it's hot down there. In Australia, it's hot.
And they're actually tilted towards the sun. So like
What? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're
Why
in
don't
the
you turn that
hemisphere-
towards the camera so we
Hey,
can get
maybe
the
you can
sun's
see it now.
perspective?
If you,
Look at that. Aim it right there.
thank you. If you're in if we're having, sir, this time of year we're having winter, but the southern hemisphere is having summer because it's the hemisphere that's tilted towards the sun.
Okay.
It determines whether you're having summer or winter. So we get.
And the sun's hitting right there, but we're up in the northern hemisphere. Where are we?
Spin
us over.
You gotta have it because I'm looking at Russia.
Don't look at Russia. We want to see the United States. There we go. So
It's
sun
tilted
hits that
away.
way. It's tilted away.
Yeah.
So the sun's really just deflecting off.
No, but that's the way it appears low in the sky in the winter
Very good.
and high in the sky in the summer.
See, I knew you'd get this.
Thank you. We're roughly 91. The Earth is roughly 91 million miles away from the sun during our winter, and we're about 94 million miles away when we're having summer. But it's the tilt that counts.
So it's actually closer during the winter, but it's
Yeah.
further away.
But the Earth wobbles on its axis.
How hot would it be in the summer if it was tilted the other way?
I think it would be hotter. No, because we have a lot of land
Okay.
up here. So we would say we'd be like that.
So what does a lot of land have to do with it?
That's how you get the extremes in temperature.
Because the
Wa-
water
the water
reflects
acts as,
light.
the water it takes more heat energy to bring the water up, the temperature of the water up, than it does the land.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it takes longer for the water to lose heat than the land does.
Okay. And that's another reason why when there's snow cover, I've heard this before. See, I'm not
What's
completely.
this? You have pain?
No, I'm just. Yeah.
You want to pull them off? Go ahead.
When there's snow cover,
Yes.
it's actually there's less absorption of light.
My God, you are smart.
And
yes,
so
it's
you get
called-
less
It's called
radiant heat.
reflectivity. It's called albedo. He played for the White Sox in the 50s. Albedo is amount of reflectivity. So the sun's being reflected out, a lot of it, the light, rather than heating the atmosphere. It has to heat. Actually, the atmosphere heats from the ground up. Mm-hmm. But with the snow cover, it gets reflected out. So the reflection of the Earth is much higher when you have a snow cover. So that's why the temperature is lower than what you'd think it would be, because the sun's energy, a lot of it's trying to melt the snow.
Mm. So during the Ice Age, where there was a heavy snow cover, are you sure?
Well, I was off.
Okay. Yeah. So during an Ice Age,
I had a T-Rex, you know.
It's sort of a like a snowball effect, to use a comical metaphor, where you have more snow cover and less light absorption, causing less heat into the atmosphere.
Yes.
So what turns it around?
I wasn't there. What turns it around?
Yeah.
Why did it melt? The atmosphere changes by itself. There's natural changes in the atmosphere. That's paleontology, paleoclimatology, which is another branch of meteorology.
So we're barking up the wrong tree.
Very good.
Thank you.
Sicko.
Okay.
Next.
All right, so.
Oh, do you got that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And by the way, the current North Star is Polaris, and it will become Vega.
When? Next week?
No, about 13,000 years.
Whoa. I better make a note in my calendar.
I drove my Chevy
to the levee,
but the levee was dry.
Dry, yeah.
There were some good old boys drinking whiskey and rye, was it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I was drinking lemonade.
We'll ask Mr. McLean later.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was originally going to ask you how the climate has changed in the last 100 years, but
I'm not that old.
But you're not that old. But apparently, we can talk about the Ice Age. All right, so let's stick to the last 60 years.
Thank you.
Okay. So you recall the last 60 years. How has the climate changed?
Yeah. Well, when I was a youth growing up in New York City, all right, I was in a lab, watch it, in junior high school, looking out the window. Who cared about what we were supposed to be doing? And just about every Friday, there was about a foot of snow.
Every Friday?
Yeah, it was Jewish, too. Okay, every Friday. Yes.
They had a weekly order.
Weekly order for it, yeah. Okay, I can say Jewish.
Did you have to walk to and from school in this foot of snow?
We walked the other way to make it longer. That's how tough we were.
So what
about
happened?
10 blocks.
What's happened?
Well, then I remember a Christmas Eve, a snow squall showed up late afternoon.
A snow squirrel?
Squall, not squirrel. And I mean, how often does that happen?
What's a snow squall?
It'd be like a thunderstorm. Take away the thunder.
Okay.
And it starts snowing heavily.
Now, are these like isolated pockets of snow?
I believe there was a cold front coming. It must have been a cold front coming through, something like that.
It wasn't a warm front.
No, it wasn't. And it might have been, you ready for this? An upper air disturbance.
Wow.
Wow. Say that 5 times.
No, thank you.
And then in the 60s, like Mayor Lindsay's storm, I think it was the late 60s, and then we had here the blizzard of 78, right? It even snowed in, what, 77 in May? Yeah. There were some big snows. I think it was in the early 80s, it was April. There was a big snowstorm with a record low temperature, like 15 degrees. Okay?
Okay.
But the climate, the climate fluctuates by itself, but we're getting into global warming here, see? And that's added, it's sulfur dioxide. Yes, sir. How about carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, all right? That's naturally occurring. When they talk about it's pollution that adds more CO2. And the sun, these gases, including CO2, water vapor, methane, which is swamp gas, yes, and CO2, they're transparent.
Cow poop. Methane.
Yeah, but it's swamp gas, too.
Cow poop.
Okay, good for you.
Go ahead.
I'm with the cow poop definitionally. So, you're killing me here. But the sunlight is transparent to those. It lets it go through. The Earth absorbs the sun's radiation and then re-radiates it. That's a new word we have here. Or radiates it back up. But these gases are opaque to it. They start absorbing the heat and they block the heat from leaving.
So we're heating up.
So we're heating up. And here's some proof. Yes.
You've brought proof.
Yes, I have.
Well, share that with the audience, will you?
This is from NOAA, the National Atmospheric and how about the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association?
We'll just stick with NOAA.
Has got no arc with it. All right. And here's a summary of a report here. It says 2012, oh, she's over there. 2012 global temperatures are 10th highest on record. That's 10th highest on record.
10th. Just put that
Apparently
anywhere.
just cooled off over there. All right. Then here's another one. I better have that back.
Yeah, why don't you take that
Thank
back?
you. In 2012, the contiguous United States, that means the lower 48.
The ones that are attached to each other, right?
You're going to be attached to something. Yes, that's right. Oh,
It's right here.
thank you.
Hasn't
Point
moved.
out. You point. Yeah, but I didn't see it. All right. May I start again?
Please.
In 2012, the contiguous United States, average annual, get away from that, average annual temperature of 55.32 degrees Fahrenheit was 3.25 degrees Fahrenheit above the 20th century average. So there. And was the warmest year in the period, it's over there, 1895 to 2000, stop moving, 2012. That's what is it? That's over 100 years, 117 years?
So whose fault is this?
I didn't finish here.
I'm sorry. Continue.
I'm about to be finished. The 2012 annual temperature was 1 degree Fahrenheit warmer than the previous record warm year of 1998. And now, people, just another perm. People think that because it's wintertime, they don't think about drought, but the drought continues because you have to get wintertime snow and rain to replenish the groundwater. But even so, drought's been going on so many years out in the plain states, and it hasn't been enough. So there has not been enough snow and rain in the drought-stricken areas. What people must understand is that having fall and winter does not mean that a drought has ended. Water restrictions are put in force for a perfectly good reason. Once a drought starts, it can go on for years and years. You can look these up on the NOAA.gov, and they have all kinds of things on there.
Okay.
You know, late some night when you can't sleep, go up there. All right, go ahead.
So,
I'm going to have some more.
so this is all humans' fault?
The global warming?
Yes.
Yes.
All of it?
Yes.
What about the cows? You can blame the cows a
Mrs.
little bit.
O'Leary's cow? No, it was 1872 or 3 in Chicago. No, but a certain party in the United States doesn't believe it's happening because they're being paid by... Moving along.
Moving along, keeping this to meteorological
Well, I thought we'd open
stuff.
Yes.
Okay, so, well, we're actually going to switch gears a little bit because
We are? I
we're going
didn't
from
know
question 9 to question 10. We're going to pull away from global warming a little bit. Sorry, I know you really like the topic.
Not particularly, but...
Question 10.
Yes.
What is wet snow?
Why is it question 10? They didn't, it's question 10 on your list.
Yeah, it's just a random list.
All right, knock it off.
Sorry.
Wet snow is when the snow is falling with the temperature at the surface above freezing, such as today, but of course you don't know that because you don't know what day it is.
It's Thursday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
March 7th.
So it's wet snow, but it's not sticking. Is it still wet snow?
No, wet snow can stick if it's coming down hard enough. It means that wet snow, it's high water content, so when you go to shovel it, you have a back problem immediately. And yeah, that's right. Dial ahead, call your doctor. And then if you use the blower, the chute gets clogged. And you say, gosh, the chute's clogged, and some other stuff.
And then you stick your hand in there to free it up and...
No, you don't lose your hand because
Don't do that.
you take it off the controls and it stops.
Drop your puppet?
Drop my puppet. Come here. All right, go ahead. It's all.
All right.
There'd be the tension. Stop it. I'm rolling. It'd be above 32 degrees.
Okay, so if it's above 32 degrees,
Yes, I'm playing with the mic. I
so it's
shouldn't be doing
possible
that.
to snow when it's above 32 degrees.
I just said that.
Thank you. What is freezing rain then?
I don't know. Oh, freezing rain. That sometimes that's confused with hail. H-A-I-L.
I'd never make that mistake.
You would.
No.
I wouldn't.
We'll talk about it later, though.
Thank you. Hail is just, all right, it's snowing up above, and then it meets, and it meets, you know, it's a party. It meets an area where it's warm, above freezing. Snow melts to liquid water. And as it continues to fall towards the surface, if there's enough cold air at the surface, the water will freeze to sleet.
So it starts off as snow.
Snow.
It melts to rain.
What are you, princess? Yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
doing the visual thing. So it's snow, then it melts to rain,
Yes.
and then it
refreezes.
freezes because there's actually a layer of cold air
Enough cold air
at the
that
ground.
is falling through to freeze it. It can never become snow again.
Ever. That's disappointing.
Right.
Okay. So then wet snow is just basically snow that sort of
existing with the
melts.
temperature. It's melting somewhat. That's why one flake covers the car sometimes, and you get wetter with wet snow than with rain. It does because it adheres.
Okay. What is sleet?
I just defined sleet, didn't I, instead of freezing rain? You didn't even catch that.
No, I totally
did.
missed that.
Okay, you get the same situation. That was sleet I did. Sicko.
So why didn't you do freezing rain?
Because I got off track. Next question. So, freezing rain, it's the same setup. Snow to rain, but there's not enough cold air near the surface, not enough time as the precipitation falls through to freeze over to sleet. So it stays super cool. Oh my God. That means existing as a liquid with the temperature below freezing. At freezing or below.
Right.
So that's how you get the glaze.
So freezing rain is that rain that makes ice.
That's right.
It makes it really hazardous to drive.
Wow. You hit the brakes and you stop
Sleet,
when
it's
you
just
hit
these
a
little
tree.
tiny ice cubes falling.
Well, they can hurt though.
And well, if they're really big ice cubes, they'll hurt. But if they're
Yeah,
little
they fall.
tiny,
It's better to drive on sleet than freezing rain because you can't get any traction on freezing rain until you hit the pole or the tree or the car in front of you. Yeah.
then you have plenty of traction.
Yeah.
Right.
So we got that was I answered sleet first and freezing rain second.
All right. Thank you for keeping this in order.
What that? It's not in order. Well, go ahead.
So you brought up hail before. Okay. So
Hail Caesar. What do you want?
We've defined sleet. We've
I did not
defined
bring up
freezing
hail
rain.
before. Not here.
You brought up hail.
I think
we can.
Yes, I did bring it up.
There
Yes,
you
I'm
go.
sorry.
Good. Save me the trouble of having to reverse the tape to show everybody.
Thank you.
Okay. So what is hail? How is it formed?
I don't know. Oh, hail is in a thunderstorm. You have a big thunderstorm. Even if it's 90 degrees or 100, you go up into it's a cumulonimbus cloud, which we'll be doing clouds next time, isn't that right?
We are going to do clouds next
Right.
time.
I'm going to see them from both sides now. Thank you. Little song we get in there. If there's a freezing line up in the cloud, and it starts out as snow, comes down, it melts, and there's tremendous updrafts and downdrafts. That's why planes don't go in there if they want to survive, because they're going to get ripped to shreds. So you can actually, so it goes up and down as many times as the atmosphere can support it with the updrafts, and when it gets too heavy, it falls to the surface. And the way you know it, there's a thunderstorm going on, thunder. You don't have that with the sleet. And
Right.
if you cut, thank you. I'm right.
I'm agreeing.
Thank you.
I know you're right.
May I? Thank you. If you cut the sleet in half, excuse me, you see you're bothering me. If you cut the hailstone in half, you can see concentric circles. That means there's circles with the same center point. Oh, you like that, huh?
I love that.
Get out. And so you will see, and you can count up, they're all different colors, and you can count up the number of times the stone has gone up and down.
It's like the rings of a tree.
Yes, that's an
count the rings?
analogy. That's an analogy.
Okay. But rather than saying, okay, this hailstone is 8 years old, you're counting how many times it's cycled through the atmosphere,
Right.
up and down.
So if it went up 8
froze,
times, you'll be able to
refroze.
see it, because they're all slightly different colors. And they're usually jagged when they get big. They've had baseball size, which you signal for a fair catch and let it drop. Then they have softball size, which that hurts.
So actually, I don't know if you heard this,
Not
but
until
recently,
you say it.
well, you might have heard it before I say it
No,
coming up.
of course not.
But in the Great Lakes, what
Yes.
happened was there was these ice chunks that were rolling around and refreezing, and they washed up on shore. Have you heard about that?
Was this a,
This would be way better if you heard about it.
I know. As a matter of fact, I haven't. What show were you watching?
It's on the internet.
Oh, because everything that's
It's
on the
this
internet
network
is
of
perfect.
computers. It's really great. You should get on
Oh.
it. Yeah. But have you ever heard that?
No.
No, really.
You want me to say it in?
I'm going to have to pull out the photos and show the people at home.
You want me to say that in French? No. Yet. How about Spanish? No.
You're multilingual there.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, I'm going to dig out that picture and show
You dig
everybody.
it
It's pretty
out.
amazing, but
I've never heard of that before.
yeah,
I know about
they
fish.
basically formed similar to hail, and they just they had concentric rings inside. It's pretty
I've
cool.
never heard that.
You just
That
did,
would probably go into oceanography.
or lakeology.
There's no such thing as lakeology.
There should be.
Let me
Anyways.
make a note of this.
Yes, thank you.
What else?
Tell your meteorological friends.
You tell them.
All right, so now we have a segment of the program where we're going to take questions from viewers. And you're probably thinking, well, this is the first show. How did we get questions from viewers? Well,
It paid off.
Yeah, well, Ed told some friends that he was going to be doing this show, and
I have friends.
I find it hard to believe, too.
I know.
So anyways, we did get a couple of questions in. We encourage you to send in your own questions. That's weathered@westfordcat.org. And whatever's...
They give their first name and where they're from? Like,
of course.
Like somebody calls in from London, England.
Absolutely.
This is the Queen Mom from
right.
London, England. Yes.
Let me go to the first question.
Yes.
Rayford in Wichita, Kansas writes...
Rayford?
Rayford.
Okay.
He's your friend. How do I know?
I don't know. Oh, right. Yes, Rayford. Yes, go ahead.
All right, so he writes, hey, Ed.
Hi, Rayford.
Oh, he knows you. Hey, Ed, what the weatherman talk about a funnel cloud is?
What the weatherman? You an English major?
Hey, I didn't write this.
Well, he's an engineer.
So I guess what he's trying to ask is, what is a funnel cloud?
All right.
Being in Kansas, they're probably very interested in things like that.
Well, Auntie M told me.
Yes.
Yes, and Wizard of Oz. You have a thunderstorm, and things are very unstable. You get these clouds that they build down. They're called, are you ready? Mamadas.
Mamadas?
Mamadas, there we are. Mamadas clouds. And some of them start building down like that. And then, so that's a funnel that drops out. Now, if it doesn't touch the ground, it's just a funnel cloud. Or crowd, not crowd.
That would be a lot of them.
That'd be a lot of them. That'd be a funnel cloud. It's a funnel cloud. And it's whitish in color because it's not picking up any dirt from the surface.
So that's what makes a tornado black, dirt from the surface.
Yes, makes it dark.
I didn't know that.
Well, now you do.
Now I
Because
do.
when it hits down, it starts sucking up dirt and debris. And
so that's the
what gets
difference
darker.
between a funnel cloud.
Funnel cloud, it doesn't touch the ground, and the tornado, it does touch the ground.
So if they go, oh my God, there's a funnel cloud coming, should you worry?
I would say you bet your bipper you worry.
Because a funnel cloud can become a tornado
Darn
at any
right,
point.
especially if the land comes up and meets it when they get married, things like
I'd
that.
probably be more worried about the land going up.
No, there's hills. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, hills.
You know the hills are alive?
I was thinking the land was
with
moving.
the sound of music?
It's Kansas, though. They don't have a whole lot of hills.
They don't need hills.
Oh, I think they do.
Well,
Wouldn't
they
that
do, but
interrupt the tornadoes?
They need trees, too. But,
That would interrupt the tornadoes, too.
no, it wouldn't. It would just rip them to shreds.
It would
Go
slow
ahead.
them down.
No, it wouldn't. Go ahead.
No? Oh. So they don't slow down when they suck up more material?
No, because it depends on the thunderstorm, how fast it's moving.
Oh. Okay, then. So, all right, so here's a random question. We're talking about tornadoes.
You're
and-
random enough.
I'm pretty random. That's
You're
why
random.
I'm here.
All right, go ahead.
So if a tornado goes over a different type of ground material,
Yes.
like water,
Yes.
I'm not sure I'd call that ground material, but I'm going to here.
It is ground.
It's
just not a
on
solid
the ground.
surface.
Yeah, except for that really light floaty type water. So what happens when a
What's really like
floaty water?
What's floaty water?
Rain.
Oh.
So what happens when a tornado goes over water?
Wow. It can go over water, or it can form over water. It's called a water spout. They're much weaker. It's a weaker cousin.
Okay.
And but you don't care how weak it is. If your boat's right in the vortex,
that's
it's
true.
not weak.
So does that just bring more moisture up into the cloud?
It just sucks it up, but it can't do much damage because it's just spraying water.
Tell that to the fish.
Gefilte fish? Go ahead. Go. Are they?
All right, well, we have another question.
Well,
this
thank
is
you.
actually from Rayford's wife,
What's her name? Esmeralda? What is this?
Rayanne.
Rayanne?
Rayanne, yes. This is your friends.
Are you well?
Well, anyways, Rayanne wants to know, what is the Montreal Express and how do I get tickets?
Well, how do you get tickets?
How do-
Are you crazy?
how do
She
you get
always
tickets?
was a joker.
Yeah,
That's
that
when very
Rayanne.
cold air comes down from eastern Canada. Comes racing down. It's in the wintertime. So they call it the Montreal Express because the air is coming across Montreal.
Is there anything you want to say to close the show?
How about goodbye? No.
Goodbye works excellently.
No. Remember to go to the website and you can watch this excitement many
and over.
times, over and over. So you don't have to watch, something on the news like squirrel attacks a blue jay,
And don't
things
forget
like
to
that.
send in your questions.
Right.
Do you know what the email address is? Never mind. We'll see you
Give them
later.
the email address.
I did it like 5 times.
Do it again.
You weren't paying attention. It's weathered@westfordcat.org. Thanks for
Weathered?
watching. Weathered.
Oh, okay.
Weathered.
What is it? What is it?
Spell it out. Weathered.
Weathered. So get
Spells
it right.
weathered. Okay.
All
right, well-
all right. Got it.
There we go. He's a little slow.
right.
All right. We will see you next time. Thanks for watching.